It's November 6th, 2026, and the reason we're so far in the future is because the late season went as bad as it could have. We cycled through two managers. I forgot in the last video I had just fired Mark Kotze, promoted Darren Bush to interim manager. Now I can't see here what his interim record was, but if I go to our bench coach that I had to hire because Bush was the bench coach, he ends up with a 33-47 record, and that was holding at 500 for a while. But if I look at Kotze, I don't really think it was too dissimilar. That's his player profile. Yeah, 33-47 for Kotze as well. So literally the same. I don't know if that's a glitch or what, but yeah. There are other things that are bad news as well. I guess I should say Kiermaier and Refsnyder retired. We have the same budget. John Fisher isn't happy, or I guess he's fine with us, but we didn't really do much for what he wanted specifically. Bush is fired. I'm going to look into seeing what I can do. I think Andy Thompson is a good bench coach. I think Jeffrey Davenport is a good hitting coach. Bobby Crosby at first base, Craig Conklin at third base. I just want to find a pitching coach. David Forst also out as well. Nobody in the minor league systems that I don't see anybody here that I would call up. Maybe this guy, Javier Goddard. I might. We'll think about it. I don't know. So I guess I should go here. I'm like depressed after the season ended the way that it did. 9-18 in September. Bad month. We're the worst offense in the American League. Just slumped towards the end. Pitching was fine. Defense is good. But that's about it. And if we look at, this is the biggest deal. I want to show you these three injuries. Number one, Mason Miller out for 8 months with torn flexor tendon in his elbow. Around the World Sports was correct in saying I probably should trade him. He's an injury waiting to happen. I didn't want to trade him for a 45 potential prospect, knowing that he could go to a playoff team and possibly, like, he could have won a Cy Young last year if he reached like his full ceiling. A 3.01 ERA, 200 strikeouts. Like, that's a really good pitcher, and I wasn't getting the type of offers back for him. Now, he's not going to be back until July, probably. Jesus Gurindo, injured in the last few days of the year, 4 to 5 months. He should be back by the start of next season, and he kind of had his breakout year this year as a not necessarily a true rookie, but not at all. 15 starts last year, but didn't burn up his rookie eligibility. This season, a bit more for the 25-year-old starter out of Cuba. And then Jairo Iriarte, who I had traded for, and I'll show you that trade. I was very disappointed in this, having elbow ligament reconstruction surgery, out for 9 months, basically the whole season. He might come back in September. In 14 2/3 innings, he was pretty good for us. We traded him for Brian Abreu, who goes to the White Sox and actually pitches well there. And I also got Ty Floyd, who finished the season with the River Cats. I guess I can go here. Since I didn't show the trade deadline, I want to show some of the trades that I made here, because there were 3 trades. So one, or more than that, I think. Abreu, Iriarte, Floyd. To the Blue Jays, I sent Huascar Ynoa, who was fine for them. I don't know if they're a playoff team. I can't remember. No, they were bad. Here's the playoffs. Wyatt Langford is your MVP pretty easily. Nearly a Triple Crown winner, if not for Tyler Locklear, who beats him out in home runs and RBIs. But Langford dominating in almost every category. Jackson Holiday leads in stolen bases. Brian Wu, ERA for the Mariners, who put together a good year. Corbin Burns still with Baltimore. They signed him to an extension. What else? The Rockies did make the playoffs. They lost in the wild card round. Mark Vientos for the Giants, 39 homers. I don't know if that's their first guy since Bonds. Barry Bonds in real life, the last time the Giants had 30 home runs. in a season that was in 2007. Kind of ridiculous. But there are the stats for the National League. And then a World Series that 30 years ago would have been unheard of. Boston Red Sox beat the Chicago Cubs 4-2. Two cursed teams up until they won their first World Series in the 2000s. So, the pitching staff. J.P. Sears, I called him back up for a little bit when the starters went down, and he just got torn to shreds in the last month of the year. I might just non-tender him. He's unhappy. I don't know if I can pay him $3 million because he was just bad. Clevenger had to tail off a little bit at the end of the year because he was starting. We just didn't have the arms. Threw 134 and 2/3 innings. I think that was the team lead. And only 2 or 3 starts. Carino threw 114 and 2/3. Miller 174 and a third. But Clevenger, doing all that he can for our team. 50 games, 3 starts. He was a follower for a little bit of the year. I love him. Jorge Marcheco was another guy we traded for. I've been skipping around everywhere. Traded Lucas Giolito, who went to the Angels once again and was not great for them. And I don't think they made the playoffs either, right? Yeah, 79 and 83, Giolito. They gave us Chandler Simpson, we gave them Chandler Simpson, who I had gotten in a previous trade. That was for Jonah Heim, Brennan Malone, and Lalo Ramirez, who's a young prospect. And now he's 20 and he's not doing anything. Malone was bad in AA. I didn't feel bad trading him, but he actually made the big league club. But negative 1.8 WAR in AAA this season. And then Jonah Heim, who just bounced back with them. I think he didn't want to be in Sacramento. And the A's really wanted a catcher to go along with Christian Bethancourt. They make the playoffs with the tandem of Heim and Bethancourt. So that was a good trade for them. We got Chandler Simpson from them, as well as Skylar Hales. Ah, shoot. I hate this. Let's go to the trade page. Where is it? Okay, Skylar Hales, not much here, I think. We picked up Joe Lampe, who I had picked in the Rule 5 draft but released before the season started because he just wasn't going to find a spot on the roster, and eventually comes over to us and does fine in AAA, and he might have a spot on the team next season. I don't know yet. Or at least in AAA, I just don't have to keep him up on the main roster. For the Giolito trade, it's Marcheco, who is a nice quality starting pitcher for a young guy, and then Tanner Hall, who's down in AAA and is now in the Arizona Fall League. I don't know what he's eventually going to be, but I had to trade something for Giolito. On the Rays, I'm sorry, I keep bouncing around. J.J. Goss, also in that trade. And then finally, Chandler Simpson, who we traded to the Angels. They just waived him, and now I'm claiming him back because he is probably going to be our Nick Gordon replacement when I non-tender him or trade him, whatever happens with him. For Yanoa, we got Gabriel Martinez, who's like a real quality player. Kind of a DH first base type, though. That's the problem. I don't know where I'm going to put him defensively, but he was fine in AA this season and good in AAA in a very limited time there. I think he's a good bat to get for a relief pitcher. Those were the deadline moves. Those were the players we added. To go through the rest of the team, Maldonado, really good out of the pen after struggling with us last season. Waiver claim from Miami. Mark Church came up, had a .8 WAR, a 0 R WAR, just because he just was unlucky in 33 and third innings. But I like him. That's a really interesting skill set. You don't often see the stuff this high, but the pitches that low and the movement, interesting for Church. We got him from Texas for Connor Wong in the offseason. Brady Basso came back up and was good. Still on the minimum, 1.1 R WAR. He'll probably make the team next season. I don't know why he would not. Brendan Bernardino was our all-star, and then he just stunk the second half of the year. He was not good in August or September, which is unfortunate. We got him for David Calabrese, who went to the Giants and was fine. So Bernardino was our all-star this season, or one of them. Gunnar Hoglund came up and was pitching well, and then over his last few outings just got shelled. He was part of the trade for Matt Chapman, which was in real life, to the Blue Jays. Comes up at age 26. I don't know if I have a spot for him now, just based on what we've seen from him in the bigs. Cody Funderburk only threw 16 innings. He was up like almost the whole season after 35 innings in AAA Sacramento, and wasn't good. I don't know. He's got like good skills. I don't want to get rid of him. And Clevenger at the back of the pen. That's it, right? Newcomb. Another just good year for Sean Newcomb with the R-War. Like, he's a ground ball pitcher, I guess. He's getting lucky. He's in arbitration this season. He's like a valuable asset, though, the way that he's turned his career around for us. I just don't know if I can bank on it for another year. That's why I don't know if I'll keep him around. Joe Boyle just can't put it all together, man. He's starting. I think he just shut out the Tigers in real life today, the day I'm recording, April 7th. Like, he's got the stuff, 80 fastball, 80 curveball. Just can't put it together. I'll keep him around for another year. Nick Frasso, I'll keep him around too. The 70 grade fastball, that's too good to get rid of. And then JP Sears, I talked about, got blown up. The lineup side, the worst offense in the American League. Two full-time players that really they only played 120 and change games as above-average hitters, and even still, like, a slight variance in OPS plus, they're average hitters. Matt Mervis in part-time duty was a 21% above league average hitter. Man, we were stinky. Mervis again doing all his damage against righties. Check. Denzel Clark was our most valuable offensive player with his glove. He might win the Gold Glove in center field, and as an average hitter, that's a very valuable player. Even though he got hurt for 3 weeks towards the end of the year, also stole 15 bases. Not a ton of value there, but still. Miguel Vargas, like, he's just an average starting first baseman. Was bad in August, good in September. Keep him around for next year and see what he can do, but I'm still not entirely trustworthy of this BABIP staying that high. Nick Gordon ended the season hot. Was good here, I guess, in October. Just ended hot. Good defensively. Maybe I'd bring him back, but at like $5 million, what he's going to want in arbitration, I just don't see it happening. Ryan McMahon just cratered, like, in August, September. Bad. He had this hot start and then was like sub-replacement level for almost the entire season. He's only getting paid $4 million next year. I'll bring him back, but with caution. Lawrence Butler, another guy that just can't put it all together for a whole season, unfortunately. I guess heated up in September and October, but this month of August really sent him downhill. Good in right field, though, Butler. Jeremy Pena just couldn't do it for the whole season. He's not a great fielder at shortstop. I'll probably let him go, but actually was good in September and October. I just like a better shortstop defensively. Henry Bolte, a 28 home run season in his first full year as an MLB player. Last year got 229 plate appearances as a 21-year-old. I just need that hit tool to come up, and he's like almost there with the 65 range. Really good in left, not great at all in center, but just keep him cooking, and maybe a little bit more improvement with the bat-to-ball contact skills. He's got the raw power. I mean, 28 homers at age 22 is nuts for Bolte. Brock Jones, I think he ended the season strong. If I remember, he had a streak of 4 straight home runs, or 4 straight games with home runs. Yeah, September and August, finished strong. He only was a part-time player this year. He was up the whole year almost. But yeah, a little bit more time in the oven for him too. But he'll have to scrap for a job. I'm not going to guarantee him a job with 40 contact. I can't have 2 outfielders like that. Daniel Suzak was, another story, just kind of flopped in the second half of the year, and that's fine. He'll be back next season. I like him enough. Brian Buelvis, 7 games. I like him as a righty guy. Daryl Hernandez, I just need to see more from him, man. That all these guys just can't put it together. Langoliers, non-tender. See ya. Not good defensively. Bat fell off. Wish I traded him. Soderstrom. I mean, come on. Just wiped out almost all of his value from last season with this year. 656 plate appearances. Probably the worst qualified hitter in baseball. Can't field. And a lot of this came in July and August, or I guess August and September. And June, man, he just fell off. Sad. I'm sad. AAA actually finished with a good record, though. That was the thing. Made the playoffs. I think they're still playing, right? No, they lost in the championship series, it looks like, to the Oklahoma City Baseball Club, which I don't know why they changed their name. I didn't even notice that until I played this version out of the park, that the Oklahoma City Dodgers changed their name. I don't know. We'll turn the roster over and identify guys that can do it and guys that can't. Ben Besteman was a draft pick, 8th rounder. Went right up to high A just because he had the skills for it at 18. I think he'll have a bright future. We got 280 potential guys in A-ball right now, Emerson and Gio Ducre. Neither of them hit well there, but they were supposed to be ready to go. Jack McKernan, after a nice season in rookie ball this year, I promoted him to A-ball, didn't do well. The A-ball team has talent but just isn't good. And I don't really know what to do. I wish they still had the short season leagues. And I just don't like how they handle, everyone is always awful if you promote them at 18. But, I don't want to keep him down here. I got guys, maybe I got to change the way that I manage the rookie ball leagues, but even, guys that I just draft, they're always terrible there, even though they're, higher potential than any other draft picks, because I don't know, maybe the computer stocks them with 22-year-olds that just beat up on me. But I don't like the way the computer handles the lower leagues, because they're my only prospects right now, really. Potential-wise, I got a couple 45s in AA, and then Gabriel Martinez, probably the highest ceiling player in AAA right now. It's just unfortunate. Player development tab, we do have the 11th system in baseball. Emerson checks in, Pacheco, Wheeler, Sandoval, so this draft really bumped up our farm system, but it's going to take a while till these guys get here, and I'm just stocking talent right now. Big part of this was that the patch wasn't out to patch young player development like this. Look at the salaries. A lot of these guys won't be back. Miller I'll have to pay, which stinks. Nick Gordon, I can't pay him $5 million at 32. Langoliers will be gone. Garindo stays at $3 million. Clevenger will stay. Pena, I just not really in the mood to keep him. Sears, I'll probably waive Matsumoto. He's good though, but he just another guy that just can't put it together. Newcomb maybe. Yeah, and then just a number of other guys that I could probably look into trading too. So we'll see who sticks around. But yeah, that about does it. This stinks. 67 and 95. That's what the Pythag says too. That's our worst record so far, right? Yeah. After the improvement from last year, we were projected to win 81 games and then just fall flat on our face. And just seems like a reset, I guess, of what we've been trying to do. Still haven't decided. This is supposed to be the last season in Sacramento. Might keep us here. Haven't figured that out yet. But yeah, I got to hire a new manager. Waiver wires, these are the claims I made. I figure, I don't like claiming 23-year-olds, but this team stinks, and I want to get us kick-started. Nathan Lavender, a good-looking lefty pitcher from the Mets. Noah Miller, potential shortstop candidate from the Astros. Chandler Simpson, I already mentioned him with all these base stealing tools that he has. Christian Cerda, who does have this 75 eye. I would have him be my third catcher, or if Suzak falters, like just the eyes really driving him. He's a decent catcher defensively. Tink Hence, former big prospect for the Cardinals, is being waived. Surprised by this, but he's got a good skill set as well. And then Mac Horvath, who is a captain, who I've gotten in the Rule 5 draft in the Chicago White Sox series that I did last year. He's just a guy. I don't know. That's what we're looking at. I'm a bit defeated. Maybe we can go out and get some free agents, hopefully. Here's what arbitration looks like. No pending free agents. Everybody in arbitration. That's the demands they want. We're going to figure it out. We'll figure it out. This is the end of Season 3, moving to Season 4 next year, and make it better. We're digging out of the dumpster, 50 and 112 the year before we started. And progress is not linear, is what I'll keep saying. That's crazy. Soderstrom had negative 1.2 WAR, and he hit 26 homers and was the team lead in RBIs. Anyways, I will be back with another video, probably at the start of the season, just because I want to start whipping through these slower years and get to the point when we can see these guys burst onto the scene, because our top 10 prospects, all in the top 200, are none of them over the age of 19. So we got some time before these guys come up. But thank you, everybody, for sticking around. Hopefully you keep sticking around, because we got a lot more to build. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.